WWE is opening the forbidden door. This one is really exciting. Super excited to talk about this story because WWE has some major plans. Not only that, TNA is following suit with some major plans as well. Two major announcements that we will be uncovering in today's video. Plus, we do got to talk about it. An AEW star, or should I say stars, have asked for their release from the company. We have a major update on the yesterday's breaking news. So I think perfect place to start right now would actually be The Righteous. We have to give you guys this update because there's been a lot of questions in the comments of yesterday's video. There was some breaking news late at night that The Righteous, Vincent and Dutch, were gone from AEW. Now, a lot of people were wondering what was happening. A lot of people have been under the assumption that Tony Khan has decided not to re-sign them. However, their contract actually reportedly didn't end until the end of 2025. So this is where things get really interesting because Vincent and Dutch had actually requested their release from AEW, and Tony Khan and the company decided it was completely fine, and they moved forward with granting the release. Now, you might be wondering, why am I talking about this? There have been times on this channel, and I want to be very clear. There had been very few, a couple times actually, really. It's not that rare. There's been a few times where talent have requested out of AEW, and I have been on record saying that Tony Khan promised to not be like Vince McMahon, and he promised that they wouldn't hold talent back, and they would not keep talent if they didn't want to be there. This was a very nice change from AEW because we thought that's how Tony Khan would be. Now, I have been relatively critical of Tony Khan when you hear of stories of guys asking to get out of their contract and Tony Khan wouldn't do so. And because I've been critical at those times, it is only right that I praise AEW when they do right by the talent asking to leave. In this case, that is exactly what happened. Vincent and Dutch didn't want to be part of AEW anymore, and their request was granted. So instead of keeping them on hold like they do with, like they did with Ray Phoenix or something, that didn't happen here. They got released. So obviously there was a lot of confusion on this, and I understand why there was a lot of confusion. I think a lot of people were starting to believe that, I think people were starting to believe that maybe I was being anti-AEW in that video. But the reality is, I wasn't. I was just simply bringing you guys the information, and I'm not going to hide my feelings. I don't think they were utilized well in AEW, but at the same time, too, I am glad that Tony Khan also thought, hey, we're not going to hold them back. We're not going to keep them here. That's what's important. That's what matters. It wasn't that their contracts expired or whatever. And that brings us to our next topic, ladies and gentlemen. The Hardys and Joe Hendry are set for AAA TripleMania. Now, this is huge news because TNA obviously has a partnership with AAA. And with that partnership, a lot of people have been wondering what exactly is going down because of the fact that WWE bought AAA. And obviously, WWE also has a working relationship with TNA. Now, on June 15th, TripleMania will be taking place, obviously, in Mexico, and Joe Hendry and the Hardys will be there. We don't know what matches they'll be, but they did reveal this. And the good news is, it seems like the relationship between AAA and TNA will continue to exist, even post WWE acquisition, which that's been a major question mark. What happens to that partnership now that the WWE owns AAA? Obviously, we still have to wait until the acquisition is 100% finalized, but for all intents and purposes, we're not going to ignore the fact that WWE is purchasing AAA. And there really doesn't seem to be any information out there that indicates that the deal will not go through to begin with. So obviously, Joe Hendry representing TNA as the world champion, it makes a lot of sense for him to go down there. Of course, Matt and Jeff Hardy going down to AAA makes a lot of sense. You have to imagine perhaps some sort of tag team match will be going down. As far as TNA goes, I also talked about it the other day that they signed Octagon Jr., who is from AAA. Also, TNA has been working with Laredo Kid for a long time now. Laredo Kid obviously expected to be on TripleMania. These are all things to pay attention to. And really what I think it comes down to is this alliance that we are starting to see that will eventually include more companies. I genuinely believe. I think the writing is on the wall. WWE working with All Japan Pro Wrestling, working with Pro Wrestling Noah, working with TNA, now owning AAA. I think TripleMania is going to be a very clear indication of what to expect with WWE, being the leader. But also at the same time, too, I think it's a really interesting situation considering the fact that a week before Triple Mania, we have Worlds Collide. So that obviously brings us to the topic of whether or not TNA will be involved at Worlds Collide. There's a lot of people online who believe Worlds Collide will not simply just be a WWE and AAA event. A lot of people do believe that that event will include TNA and Pro Wrestling Noah, which would be really dope considering the fact that this could be WWE's version of the Forbidden Door. Joe Hendry and the Hardys representing TNA at TripleMania is a big deal. But now this is where things get even more interesting because there's been another major announcement. AAA has revealed that Berto and Garza are both headed to TripleMania as well. This is huge news. We finally have the first announcement as far as what WWE talent will be headed to Mexico to participate in this match or in this pay-per-view. I think this is huge, bro. I think this is huge. Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, two of my favorites. Obviously, if you guys watch this channel, I'm a huge fan of them. And I don't feel like they have been booked appropriately. I feel like there's been more opportunities for them, hopefully coming soon. But at the same time, too, I'm excited to see that they'll be headed to Triple Mania because now we know Angel Garza, Humberto Carrillo, Matt and Jeff Hardy could potentially be in a massive match together at the pay-per-view. Now, also at the same time, we know that AAA talent are expected to head over to NXT. We are under the belief at this time that Laredo Kid, Vikingo, and Wagner Jr. could all be appearing on NXT television relatively soon. Keep in mind, the build for Worlds Collide is less than a month away now. So the fact that this is so close in time tells you that they're starting to get the wheels in motion. They've already made this major announcement. More WWE talent are expected. We don't know exactly who. I'm assuming we're going to find out by watching NXT, right? But as time goes on, we'll kind of get to the bottom of this. It's really exciting to me. I feel like this is going to be a wonderful time to be a WWE fan. I think this is going to be a wonderful time to be a pro wrestling fan. And if you are somebody who maybe doesn't watch AAA, this will be a great introduction to it. I think CMLL and AAA, obviously there's that rivalry there, but historically speaking, these are the two companies that are most talked about in Lucha Libre. And the fact that we're starting to get exposed to them on a more regular basis here in America, I think is a great thing for fans. So this is huge, man. Two WWE superstars confirmed for the event. The announcement's been made. So sick. Can't wait to see what happens, guys. And if you want more videos like this, go ahead and click subscribe. This way you never miss a video. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.